Hello, today I have an honor to interview in our podcast Professor Paulo Brandao from Gracie Humaita here in Austin, Texas. Nothing better than Professor Paulo, to introduce himself. Thank you so much for coming. It's a big
My
pleasure.
pleasure. It's my pleasure, my brother.
Very nice. So tell me, yes, go ahead.
We first saw, the first time we were in the shopping, remember?
Yes.
I was with my family.
Oh,
I was
yes.
brand new here in Austin.
Your children is
Yeah, my baby was 6 months. And
Yes.
I know you, you know me. I sort of talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a small community. I think it still is in the world. And we know each other.
That was 2013 when it came back.
Yes.
First came 2012 to Austin. Past like long 6 months without my family, working hard here.
Right.
Came back to Brazil, work on the visa, and then came back in 2013 with my whole family.
So tell me, Paulo, how was your beginning in Jiu-Jitsu? What made you start? Because that's interesting stories that people share, how they started. I think it might be inspirational for people that are trying to start.
Yeah, my beginning was very funny because when you were like on your neighbors, the smaller, the skinny, and everybody pushes you. Everybody wants to joke on you, I was this kind of guy, and then I decided, okay, we were like back into the school, and we met like another school, which was kind of rival school, each other, and then it sort of fight. In Brazil, in Brazil it's very common, you know that.
Common, yeah.
It's
absolutely
fighting like all the time, but
yes.
Nowadays it's kind of dangerous, but back in the time, and one of my friends just started Jiu-Jitsu. And I remember one of the kids throw a punch on him. He blocked, Baiana, boom, take him down, get into the mount position, slap him a little bit, he turn, he kind of choke him in a mata-leão.
So here's some basic self-defense.
Basic. And I say,
right.
Man, I want to do that.
Right.
That was one of my best friends, Mauro Moura.
Right.
And he took me to the first school, and I trained there like for 3 months, and then we moved because of something happened over there. We moved to another school, which was affiliation to Hoyler and Holker, Gracie Humaita, Austin.
Right.
And I trained I disappeared my neighborhood for like eight months. People call me hey, let's go play soccer. No. Let's go play this. I say, no, I want to train. So I put myself in train jiu-jitsu for 8 months, like consecutive, So when I came back to my friends, I was already a champion, like orange belt champion, a green belt.
How old
champion.
were you at that time?
14, 15
14.
years old. Like I started like 13 and it disappeared.
Okay.
And then I got yellow belt and I got orange belt, and as a green belt I started to build a little bit of reputation, as a champion, as a kid.
Right.
And people look at me, no, don't play with this kid anymore. He's good, because Jiu-Jitsu gives that to you. Give the confidence, the self-confidence, to face anything, and then I just kept going, and I, be more close. I went to Rio the first time, like as a green belt.
So you were in Manaus at that time?
I was in Manaus,
right.
And then because of my first professor, he was a Hoyler student. He said, "Man, go to Rio, to Gracie Humaita." I say, "Oh." I remember when I first, saw like the Gracie Humaita mat. There's a bunch of black belts.
Right.
So there's 2 rooms in the Gracie Humaita. One is smaller, a little bigger. There's just for black belts. And I say, what? And Manaus, beginning of like Jiu-Jitsu, and pretty much the higher rank was purple belt, for example. If you see like a brown black belt, say, wow, that's a big deal, And I was like green belt, blue belt when I start to go to Rio, and since then, man, that was my school forever, I got promoted, all my belts there. I kind of helped Hoyler. I'm kind of helping him to building like the legacy of Gracie Humaita here in America.
Right.
doing everything that I can to develop and help the community for Jiu-Jitsu. And pretty much that's how it started.
That's nice. So I have another curiosity that might be inspirational to the audience. What do you feel, besides the confidence, that changed for you as a lifestyle? Since the topic of what we're talking here is about lifestyle. I mean, health, nutrition,
Yeah.
and choices you made.
Yeah, one of things that, especially the Grace family, that kind of influenced me a lot was the way they eat.
Right.
You know, the Grace diet is there like for maybe 70 years,
Right.
or so. And I remember back on the time, like when I used to train as a blue belt, we always have this menu in the Gracie Humaita on the desk. We follow the group A, group B, group C, then it's combination of like carbs, you know.
Interesting.
You can eat that, you cannot like eat that. Well, basically we have like do 3 big meals during the day, you know, and water. And we respect that, the meals, you know. So one of the big things and also helped me a lot was the way that I eat. And of course, I'm not restrict for all of the things, you know. Sometimes I get out a little bit because I need it,
right.
you know. But during the week, I'm very disciplined on that. So
It was the base of your
I make my juice.
your nutrition.
And also one thing that I noticed, people don't have patience anymore to cook.
Yes.
To cut a fruit, to go to the blend and put in blend and a squeeze, and you know, it's take a little bit time.
Takes time.
And people want
Everything fast.
time to go and go, you know. And I feel privileged because I keep doing that my entire life, you
Right.
know.
It's a good habit.
Yeah, I was just now in San Diego with Hoyle like for maybe 7 or 10 days, I don't know. And man, he's still doing the same thing.
Cutting vegetables and
Cutting
fruits.
vegetables, fruits, make the juice, acai, mixing, you know, everything. And I remember when I got my black belt, he called me and say, "You guys need to come over. There's something important coming." Was December 1995. Was right after I got my black belt. Well, I got my black belt in 1995, November 27, November 27, 1995. And then December he called and say, "You need to come to Rio."
Right.
By February, was gonna something happen. Big something happen. Was the first world.
Okay.
And man, we didn't have like place to stay. He said, "No, you stay at my house for 2 months."
Okay.
And I follow his routine, you know, like wake up early, prepare the meals, go run or go swim, go train, go study, back, eat, little nap, rest again, train again. So that was like over like 2 months, you know, and
The whole team doing that.
yeah, I create because of that, his influence, I create good habits, you know.
Absolutely.
And that's helping my life in general. Not only like you said, not only like because Jiu-Jitsu gives you that kind of strength to have like, you know, self-power, self-confidence, you know, but also the way that I eat and keep like, you know, no stress. You know, sometimes, man, if you are a professor too, we know that. We come to the academy happy to teach. You know,
Absolutely, every day.
That's one of the best jobs in the world. You know, you come here, you talk with your students, you train, you teach, you go there, go to Water Springs, take a you know, cold water, back
Right.
again, rest, come back to the academy.
Right.
You know, it's a style.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Yes.
You know.
Absolutely. So, another question for you. So, how was this transition? How coming to Austin? What brought you to Austin, and how things are happening for you here?
Yeah. Curious, like I got 2 opportunities to come to America before Austin.
For you in Brazil before?
I was in Brazil.
Okay.
19. I had academies there already.
Okay.
I always have academies in Brazil. I have a chance in 1997 and 1998.
Okay.
But because of girlfriends, I say, no, I'm not going.
Okay.
But then 2012, I was packing my stuffs to go to Australia.
Okay.
One of my friends, he said, come to Australia, I pay your ticket, you're gonna help me to a fight, I pay you for 2 months of training. And then when I come back, I will stop in Florida to help another friend,
Okay.
Christian Carvalho. And then I remember I was with my wife on the couch, talking.
You're not girlfriend anymore?
No,
so-
just like a family life already. She's already
Right.
pregnant,
Okay.
And Holly called me and said, Holly, like 9 o'clock, something happened. I answered the phone. He said, hey, what are you doing? What's your plan? I said, ma'am. He said, no. You're not going to Australia, you're not going to Florida, you're going to Austin. I said, what? Yeah, you remember you told me you always want to come to America? Okay, now's the time. There's a school. Donald Park is the owner, is the head instructor over there. He's moving because of his job. He needs a professor to replace him. No commitment. You're gonna pass like 6 months. If you like, it's okay. If you don't like, come back to your life in Brazil. You have a life in Brazil already.
Nice.
So I came 2012 by myself, and I met Donald, and I met all the guys that helped in the beginning. It was a very amazing experience. It was the first time teaching in English.
Right.
And then I passed these months back to Brazil, saying, okay, I want to come back. And I was working my visa because I didn't want to come here by, just with like a tourist visa. I want to come like legal.
Right.
And then my life started here, and then I started teaching 2013 to, I remember, I was teaching like morning, noon, afternoon, and night. I came back home like exhausted, like a zombie. Just come back to when I want to sleep,
Right.
shower, and boom.
Right.
So this routine was for almost 3 years and a half of my life, And then things started to change a little bit. I started to travel more for seminars, and then the academy started to grow more. After 4 years, like working hard. I do believe like I always tell this to people: if you want to come to America and you know that better than me because you're here like years ahead, you have to pass this 3-4 years.
Absolutely.
Where it's gonna be a little bit struggling all the time,
Yeah.
challenging, and the frustration, and you kind of step back and move forward like one step and step back two again. It's a very small and a painful process, But man, after you pass this, and you start to adapt yourself, adjust yourself for the routine, because in America it's a little bit, that's different.
Different in Brazil.
Very different, than Brazil. Brazil have more like social life all the time. You hang out with your friends and this and that. Here is like work.
It's more like a business perspective.
Yeah, business perspective. You have
Yes.
your fun time, but it's very limited. You know that, right? Like,
Absolutely.
okay, 5 to 7 happy hour. There's no 7:30, 8:30, 9,
No.
10. In Brazil, 5 start at 5
All the way.
and all the way to whatever,
Whatever, yes. Great. So, Paulo, one more question for you. Anything else you want to say to the audience? I mean, something that you feel that, message that you want to say for people that are starting training Jiu-Jitsu, or even for the people that actually are training Jiu-Jitsu, all over, it doesn't matter where they are.
I like to say like your first thing is to find a good professor.
Absolutely.
A school that provides you, not only the facility. Of course, the facility is the important thing. Is number one thing. Everything clean, adjust. But I think if you have a good professor, you're gonna have for sure a good foundation. I think sometimes people sell Jiu-Jitsu whatever they want to sell Jiu-Jitsu, and don't take me wrong, I love tournaments. I competed my whole life, my entire life since I was 13 to my, I love, but tournament is part of the process.
It's not the whole process, absolutely.
When you're looking in the Academy of Jiu-Jitsu, when you go, is the environment, is the people inside are good people, you know, good instruction, you know. The core of jiu-jitsu is the martial art, you know, is a self-defense, you know. So you need to understand this kind of principles in jiu-jitsu, you know. So find a good professor, you know. You don't need to go and register the first academy that you see. Go look around, see, feel the energy of the place, you know. I do believe like jiu-jitsu is a big it's a huge, you know, tool for you to, you know, for everything, you know.
Absolutely.
You can cross like a street with a bunch of like a homeless, you know, nothing gonna happen to you, you know.
Yes.
You know, you have confidence enough to. I'm not talking homeless to be, you know, something, but something dangerous, you know, like you know when you can go, you know, you can say, no, I'm not going here. I'm gonna take the other way, you know. That's what I feel with jiu-jitsu, you know. Jiu-jitsu help you on this, basically on these principles.
Okay.
Be loyal, you know, be faithful, believe in your professor, you know. I think there's too much things right now. Nowadays, you know that people change academy all the time because they, I wanna have this kind of the flavor of the month. You know, this guy, he is a champion, and they forgot the roots. You know, the principles of jiu-jitsu. It's, you know, loyalty, be faithful. You know, be helpful in the academy as not only as a member but as a family. You know.
Absolutely, I agree. I know that somehow this is something I want to talk to you about. It's part of the learning process. Also, we cannot forget that or lose from perspective that the student is not ours. He is a client, right? So he can make a decision. But at the same point, I think it's up to us to let them know how those multiple choices, in a way, can interfere in his growth.
Oh yeah.
If he started with you in the beginning, okay, what do you want to do? What's your purpose in jiu-jitsu, right? So it could just be dancing around that. Probably could be interfering in a way that's not going to help you.
You know something nice. My entire life, I have students all over the world. I would say like in Brazil, here in America. I have students that when I go to Manaus, my hometown, my city, from the white belt to the black belt. Some of my students, my former students, when they were like kids, like 9 years old, 8 years old, they're adults today. When I go by and I don't recognize them, like walk in the shop,
Right.
in the plaza, they look to me, Paulo,
They remember you.
and I say, do you remember me? I say, I'm sorry, man. I was this little boy in the cabin,
Right.
running you and pull your pants and try to take it down. Say, oh my God. It's funny because the web that we have in jiu-jitsu, it's huge.
It's
So
huge,
we have like I said, man, when we are on the mats, there's no rich guy, there's no poor guy, there's nothing. I posted the other day something that Hansel said that I always say to everybody. There's no religion, there's no color, there's no white or black.
There's no boundary.
There's no boundary,
yes.
Nothing.
We
We
are
are
all-
equal.
yes.
Everybody
Yes.
uses the same
Exactly.
gi. There's no muscle in it.
No limitation,
Because
exactly.
you put the gi, the muscles
Disappear.
right? So you're gonna see technique, muscle. So that's one of my passions in jiu-jitsu, you know, like keep developing this way of teaching and helping people all the time. It's amazing. It's something,
It's really interesting, the big positive influence
it's priceless.
that the Gracie family actually brought to all of us. I mean, the nutrition is something they knew from the beginning that would work, was part of the program.
Yeah.
Not everybody followed that. Today it's coming back. And it's something I really appreciate. I want to know your opinion about. That Hickson says a lot. I follow that, system that he talks, rather than bring a new student that just stepped in your studio or your school, and is going to be tested like it happened in other schools. Going to be rolling with the first day with someone. In his vision, that person, the new student, will have not going to roll with anyone for 30 days or a little bit more. And in the end of the training, what we will have will be a training partner rather than an opponent. I think I really love that philosophy in, to bring easiness to whoever is starting jiu-jitsu. What do you think about that?
Like I said, the bond that we create with the students is something forever.
Yes.
We see it here daily. People crying, people laughing, people a little bit strange, and we know and we recognize, identify this kind of things, and sometimes they just need to talk.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just need to sit down with you and talk a little bit, man, that's happened to me, blah, blah, blah. And you listen. Sometimes you're gonna say something, sometimes you're just gonna listen, But it's something nice because Jiu-Jitsu don't lie to you,
Yes.
and you're gonna feel the energy, you're gonna feel the feelings as soon you touch it, as soon you kind of grab it, and you're gonna feel, okay, this guy needs help. Let me help him today. How am I gonna help him? Smashing him or letting him, play a little bit, and I play my defense and I kind of make myself a little bit on discomfort and helping him. This mutual. He helped me, I help him too. About this process, like this lifetime jiu-jitsu. It's a long way.
Oh, I think it's forever.
And then you know that I'm still learning, and you're still learning too. There's always
Yes.
something new. These new boys are developing an amazing game. You have to study jiu-jitsu, and you don't close your eyes. Watch it. Something that you can put in your game, absorb and put it on. It's like that,
Absolutely. Sure. So, Paulo, thank you so much for everything.
Wow.
I know you're about to start your class here. It's a lot of
Yeah.
people arriving. They're all excited, like always. And thank you so much for this interview with us.
No, I appreciate you.
Sharing your view for lifestyle in Jiu-Jitsu. And stay tuned. I see you guys next week.
Boom, 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 boom.